Good morning and welcome back to Inbetween, Diary of a Film tutorial series where I'm using my own experiences as an independent director, particularly on my feature film, full-length feature Inbetween, to teach you how to make your own independent film. And you can use these resources as you will. But today we're going to talk about the final steps. You're getting ready to shoot your film. You've got the cast, you've got the money, the backing, the script, everything's in order. And now you're going to talk to your crew. Your cinematographer, your makeup artist, your lighting people, your sound people, and that crew can be as big or small as you want. The smaller, the cheaper, but you don't want to overwork yourself, because if you overwork yourself, the film will end up being bad. Now, in my case, I was a cinematographer. I hired someone as a sound man who also functions as an assistant director, and leading up to the film, we did a lot of test footage together. We looked into lighting. You want to make sure that you've decided, are you going to use full key lighting where everything's bright, or low key lighting where there's a lot of shadows? It's very important also to use backlighting, because backlighting actually highlights the outlines of the figures and can add a lot of nuance and definition. You're going to have to decide on an overall look. Is it going to be warmer lighting, colder lighting? Action films are often colder lighting. Warmer lighting is a little bit more kind of cheerful and happy. And you're going to have to decide all these things. Also, close-ups, what ratio of close-ups to long shots, because you want to develop an overall look with your cinematographer and make sure that that you're speaking together very well, you're communicating. And if you're going to be your own cinematographer and use a video camera or like an iPhone, as is more common today, that you know how to use it and that you do tons and tons of test footage. Okay, so that's the first thing. In regards to sound, you also want to do a lot of sound checks, because a bad sound can wreck a film almost as easily as bad cinematography. You don't want it to be scratchy. You don't want it to be overly loud. And you have to be very, very aware of ambient sound in every room, because every room has ambient sound. The brain usually cuts it out, and that ambient sound is going to be there, and you're going to have to correct for that in some cases. Okay, so you're going to have to really study these technical details. The next thing you're going to have to do is make sure you have a makeup artist, and that makeup artist is working with the actors to sort of develop an overall look for each character. You should have an idea in your head that you've sort of developed with the actor on what they're going to look like, how they're going to dress, the costumes. We actually got the look for Jan, who was Kevin T. Collins in Between, developed with John Varvatos. I took him to the John Varvatos fashion boutique in Soho in New York, and we picked out clothes, and that was important for his overall look. And you're going to have to go through all of these things and get a makeup artist that you can work with. Now, our makeup artist was recommended by someone, my assistant director, but he backed out at the last minute, and then we had to get a replacement, and the replacement was just out of college, and she had some experience on independent films, but not a lot, and so she tended to take too much time to get the actors ready. And there was a situation where we had rented the National Gallery in London. We had 2 hours to shoot early in the morning, and she took 1 hour to get the actress ready, and this sort of thing can really be a problem. So you want to make sure that everyone is doing their job and everyone knows exactly what they're doing and can function as a professional. Now, it worked out well with this makeup artist, but there were some cases in which it seemed that she was learning on the job, and we probably wouldn't have hired her if the other one hadn't backed out. So you have to make sure sure your crew is professional and that you thought of all of these things, the overall aesthetic, the lighting, the cinematography style, a lot of long shots, a lot of long takes or a lot of short takes. These like long takes like Alfred Hitchcock, short takes, close-ups like in the film Hard Candy. You're gonna have to think of all this because your film has got to be a cohesive work of art, okay? Now you could actually get Inbetween as a novel, the novel version which came out after the film as a hardcover book, or an ebook, and my new novel, The Orphean, which is very modernist, like Franz Kafka or Peter Handke, who won the Nobel Prize in 2019. It's a very surreal and a very psychological novel, and I really strongly encourage you to check these out. So anyway, next week we're going to talk about the rehearsals and the final preparations for your shoot. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again.